Brian Martin does not own CraftTastic. He does not have access to the channel in any way, shape, and or form. Is he gone? Alright, I recommend you watch the entire video because this is a lot of context and it's a whole rabbit hole that I had to go down through, so you have to go down through it as well. So, I know I made a lot of jokes in my previous video about Brian, saying that I was gonna be his next target or, like, victim or something. I didn't think it would actually happen. As stated in my previous video, I got a lot of information, a lot of my research from, this channel called Brian Martin, quote unquote, Futuristic Hub Lawsuit Trial Archive. And I actually reached out to the owner of that channel. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, but what matters is they commented on my video with this. This, mind you, was the first comment that was left on my video, apart from Zam commenting L and the nerd emoji. Thanks, Zam. The next comment was by user Shanzabatul13773. Wait, FuturisticHub is not CraftTastic. CraftTastic is a company from US, California, and work with voice artists like Brian. You need to delete this video ASAP. Someone's clearly a big fan of CraftTastic. Hey, Brian? My friends and I dogged on this guy a bit, and they kept trying to defend the CraftTastic channel, and then I guess Brian possibly started using some more of his sock puppet accounts. It just looks like a bunch of weird roleplay, to be honest. Am I saying that these are definitely Brian's sock puppet accounts? No, but it is a very likely possibility, so... Anyway, a couple of days after I uploaded the video, I received an email from the CraftTastic YouTube channel stating the following. We are informing you that you are spreading false information about our channel and the brand in which our company has, CraftTastic. Your video, although about other YouTube channels, is falsely stating that Brian or Futuristic Hub is CraftTastic. It is not. He has no control over our channel, and we have asked him to provide voices, and that is it. Our company has chased down the original copyrights holder and signed a license to remaster content. Okay, cool. Whatever. However, not actually whatever. I think it's weird that a 100,000 subscriber channel slash company would be so quick to attempt to shut down any and all controversy surrounding them, especially when it's from an, at the time, under 100 subscriber YouTube channel. Most companies or YouTube channels wouldn't care if any controversy was surrounding them, they would just try and stay quiet for as long as possible and see if the heat dies down. But not CraftTastic. Anyway, in the email, CraftTastic claims that the owner of the Trial Archive channel was Brandon Keating, the plaintiff on the original 2014 video games lawsuit. Again, I think it's weird for a company who isn't affiliated with any of this drama or case to know who the owner of the Trial Archive channel is, the person that's also a part of this entire case. Again, maybe they just did their research. This is actually pretty good for me to know, because if this is true, then it would mean that I'd be definitely in the wrong, because Brendan Keating is one of the people that Brian had allegedly fucked over sideways during the whole video games channel lawsuit bullshit. So if Brendan was pining for Brian, then that'd mean that CraftTastic is actually not owned by Brian, and I'd be in the wrong. Therefore, I'd have to make changes to my video. Of course, that didn't happen. So I shoot him a message and he confirms that he's both Brendan Keating, just to double check, and that he actually does own the Trial Archive channel. I ask him the dreaded question, do you think Brian owns CraftTastic? In my opinion, yes, it is his. He's now claiming that Holly is licensing the videos to his twin brother Kevin's company. He took the same videos that were on Wildcraft and put them all up on CraftTastic. So that's one claim by CraftTastic debunked, and such an easy one to check as well. I mean, why would they lie so blatantly? Also in the email, CraftTastic claims that
also in your thumbnail, we kindly ask you to remove our logo as it is infringing on our trademark logo on a subject that has nothing to do with this channel.
while it may or may not have nothing to do with this channel, using a company's logo in a YouTube thumbnail doesn't infringe on shit. I show Brendan the email, and this is his 2 cents on it. Damn, he kind of sounds like a badass in this. I'm gonna try and do Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is just him trying to silence his critics as usual. Your best bet would be to completely ignore him. You're in Australia, and there is nothing he can do to you. He'll claim to know your address, etc., etc. He is full of shit. We have evidence that the CraftTastic channel is under an LLC that is registered in Kevin's name. Is that cool? Well, that means that CraftTastic is still under the Brandon name, even if it's his twin brother. Oh yeah, Brian has a twin brother, Kevin. I recommend watching Turkey Tom's video on it. He has a 2-part series on Brian's antics. My videos go over the stuff that's in his part 1, which you should definitely check out. Both the videos are linked in the description, so go and watch them. Either way, Brian still appears as a voice actor in every single one of CraftTastic's videos, since he's the voice actor of Sonic, Baldi, and Steve. I feel like that still applies for some type of ban evasion, since even if we say that Holly Bone is the real owner of FuturisticHub, Brian still definitely owned the Life in a Tent channel, which got terminated for violating TOS back in 2011, and if we learned anything from the Leafy situation, it's that YouTube is serious about stopping any type of ban evasion. I had to burp there. So first I tweeted at Team YouTube to see if being a voice actor for an animation channel while being terminated on a previous account would still be ban evasion. I got this response from Team YouTube.
If your YouTube channel is terminated, you are prohibited from circumventing the termination. This applies to all of your existing channels, any new channels you create or acquire, and any channels in which you are repeatedly or prominently featured.
I would say that Brian is prominently featured, considering he voices, at the very least, the 3 main protagonists of every single one of CraftTastic's animations. But does he actually? Yes, he does. Because I asked CraftTastic in an email reply from their original, and they responded with this. Our mission was to bring back the type of animations for the fans. We did this by contracting with Brian and a few voice artists. Brian is a voice artist, and he voices Sonic, Baldi, and our main protagonist, Steve. God, CraftTastic should hire me. I'm an awesome voice artist. Damn, that was good. What's even more interesting, though, is the next sentence.
Interestingly enough, Brian doesn't just work with this company. He works with dozens of other companies and channels as a contractor.
I don't know what other channels he works for, or if this is just a red herring to make me waste my time, but it is interesting nonetheless. Either way, I now have some credible evidence to back up my claim that Brian Martin can be considered a prominent feature in the CraftTastic channel, therefore giving it grounds for termination. I don't think there should be any smear campaign on the CraftTastic channel, even if their videos are, in my opinion, pure brain rot. I just wanted to show that Brian is still acting questionable even without owning the CraftTastic channel. Speaking of, let's see what the CraftTastic channel has to say about this info.
Our lawyer, in brackets legal team, has very close relationship to YouTube. We checked their guidelines, and they are not violating any guidelines. YouTube has also confirmed months ago that the channel was in very good standing, and we already went over those concerns months ago. As for the hiring, we allow any voice artists which can't really be seen on any of our content. Specific voice artists are highly recommended. I read your screenshot and it states that any new channels you create or acquire, which this company created and acquired. I do appreciate you not inserting yourself in any type of authority over this brand. Brandon Keating tried that in May, and we sent him a cease and desist and demanded that he understood his place and understood the channel and its legal operation. Brian is not a prominent feature in the channel, and he understands he has no direct control or association with our business. This type of stuff would be called profiling, which is a claim that could be brought against the website. What they mean is most likely the branding of the channel and the local name of the channel. The channel here has nothing to do with any previous channels. There are also other channels with the same voice artists and other channels that do animations. Barring this company from enjoying the right to create based upon association or hiring choices is wrong. I also don't see where YouTube agreed, but work for hire contracts are not association contracts.
For a 100,000 subscriber channel, they have pretty good ties to YouTube, huh? What's even weirder about this email is that the person who wrote this flip-flops between using the pronouns we and I. This isn't a bash on using different pronouns, by the way. I'm not like a dumbass who thinks pronouns were invented in 2016 by the SJWs. I'm noting this because if it were a legitimate and professional company, the email would have stayed using the pronouns we to refer to the entire company, but the post sometimes contains the use of I, like here. Not only did this person neglect to mention the prominent feature in this part, then say it in the next paragraph that Brian isn't, because
this type of stuff would be called profiling, which is a claim that could be brought against the website.
Which I don't believe to be the case at all, but then again, it reads I and not we. This is obviously a big mistake, but maybe I'm just reading too heavily into it. Again, these are all my opinions. I'm merely interpreting the emails and messages sent to me in a way that I see fit for this entire situation. None of this is supposed to be taken as factual information apart from these being actual emails being sent to me and actual emails that I sent back to people. Furthermore, in the email, CraftTastic gives a couple of links to show.
For the sake of argument, we looked into the Brian drama and a lot of it is made up. It turns out Brian was frauded by people and other people were dragged into the drama by creditors who broke the law. If you would like to see a Twitter that documents that, it can be seen below. Interestingly enough, Brian filed absolute evidence that he was frauded. A woman named Holly, owner of the old FuturisticHub and Wildcraft channel, was also defrauded. You can listen to the appeal hearing at the link below under the submitted WAV file, but the briefs prove that these individuals are innocent.
One was a link to a Twitter account named Wizard of Noz, and the other to a case file on the Texas court's website. The case file is also uploaded on the Trial Archive channel and is about an appeal Holly submitted to reverse the original $20 million lawsuit, arguing that it was unfair for Brian and Holly. I personally don't think it's going to go anywhere, and Brendan said that his attorneys are confident they'll win. The Twitter account, Wizard of Noz, is journalist documenting the fraudulent 2016 video games $20 million and FuturisticHub YouTube lawsuit of Dallas, Texas. Not ran by Brian. Every time I see this isn't Brian, I just automatically see just a fucking lie. It only has 9 followers and joined in September of this year. Only the people who are maybe heavily involved in this case would know about this Twitter account, not including me and now you who's watching this video. So how would this company who isn't involved in any of these cases know about this Twitter account to show me? This also barely shows any evidence in the case against Brendan and David Tyler Moss. It's not even for Brian. They could have just asked Brian about this whole situation and given them the link to the Twitter, but how would Brian know about this Twitter account if it isn't even him? The rest of this email is just pure yap, so I'm not even gonna bother going through it. Same thing with this next email that they sent me just a couple of hours after. It just says, hey dude, you haven't edited the video, chop chop, let's do this, come on. Yeah, I'm not gonna edit the video. I'd rather say everything that I need to in this follow-up video here. So this all happened on the 4th of December, and it was pretty late for me, so I just went to sleep after reading that email. Too tired to give a fuck, really. Then I woke up to yet another email from CraftTastic saying my video was view-botted. I hit the thing.
What's up, Schleiminator? It's Critical. We wanted to give you a heads up that Brendan Keating is most likely putting fake view bots on your video. He's the only one that wants to promote this video, and we're on the fence about reporting it to YouTube as bots. We'd like to hear from you on what should be done about that, because the last thing we want to do is hurt your channel. I think we came to an agreement. We were waiting on you to fix it, but Brendan Keating is botching your views, and the evidence is pretty clear that he's the one that would want views on the video. It's a shame to see him putting on your channel at risk. We can help if needed. I stress to tell you that we're not associated with this drama and we're not a part of it.
Like, why would you even tell me that I'm getting view-botted if you want to silence me? What the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. In my mind, it's clearly Brian that's view-botting me. Brendan has no incentive to do anything like that, and 4,000 view bots honestly doesn't do shit to bump up my video and recommendations. While Brian, on the other hand, has every incentive to try and scare me into silence, and it ain't gonna work, bitch. So, to be fully transparent with the website hosting my video, I tweet at Team YouTube again to let them know what's happening, who might be doing it, and who he's associated with. YouTube responds with, this piece of bullshit.
Thanks for reaching out. To clarify, we have a system in place that validates view count and other metrics. Note that we remove engagement metrics that aren't legitimate.
Fuck off, you lying cunts. It's clear from looking at the analytics of the video that this is a viewbot attack, so your system ain't doing a very good fucking job, ain't it? Also with the email, how would CraftTastic even know it's a viewbot attack? They'd have to either be the people behind the viewbotting or be watching the view count of it very extensively. So yeah. So after I make my Twitter post, only about maybe an hour later, I get a very scary email from CraftTastic.
Schleimino, in light of your recent tweets and posts, we will be reaching out to our legal team and also hiring a legal team in your country.
You placed yourself in a position where you are trying to interfere with our company and our channel. Because of this, we have viewed this as a threat to our business and will be taking legal action against you in due course. Please be aware that at this time, you should be hiring a lawyer who will be in touch with our legal team once this is underway. Should you have any questions before we start this process, we'd like to hear them. If not, then we will proceed with the case. We have not told you about our contracts with any of our contractors, and you have reached out to YouTube in a tortious interference manner. I kindly ask you to remove your tweets and speak to us like adults, because if you want to keep showing harm to our company and channel, we will be very happy to take you to court. Sincerely, Team CraftTastic. Now, I live in Australia and CraftTastic is based in California. While I know that any lawsuit threat made by Brian in the past has never gone through, due to him already being in court for another lawsuit and also probably not wanting to actually do it because he knew that he'd most likely lose, I kept on thinking, what if I was the exception? What if I was the one he decided to actually take to court? I was scared out of my mind at this point because Brian knows the law because he's been sued a few times and he has access to actual attorneys, while I, on the other hand, don't know laws that well and only have $4,000 to my name. Even if it were CraftTastic that sued me, because that's who threatened me originally, that would be even worse because then they have a lot of money to throw at me, and companies, even small ones, have legal teams and advisors on how to do shit. I don't have legal teams and advisors on how to do shit. However, out of all this scary shit, this bit got me pissed mad. I kindly ask you to remove your tweets and speak to us like adults, like adults, like adults, like adults. CraftTastic. Kindly and professionally, fuck you. My emails up to that point have been formal and efficient, while my tweets were merely highlighting things that I deem ethically questionable with your company. And you have the fucking goal to say that I need to act like an adult when you are the one suing a child with a lawsuit because he said your name in a fucking video. Grow the fuck up! After this email, I get yet another one, but this time from the man himself, not hiding behind an animation company anymore.
He's gonna sound like a bitch a Becky. Hey, Sliminator 9000. I heard you wanted to talk to me. What can I do for what? Fuck! Shit! What can I do for you, dude? And why are you bugging people about this stuff when you have no idea of what's going on? I'm personally telling you to stay in your own lane, okay? And it's for your own good. You are on the wrong team if you're against me, because you are picking on a very innocent people. Normally, people would ask certain things, but from what I heard, you want to be a party to my case. Is that right? Do you have an attorney? Because if you want to get involved, we can go there if you want. I have lawyers, and so does Holly. We are glad to bring you into the whole thing if you want.
I reach out to Brendan and Wacky TV about these threats because at this point I was both incredibly angry and legitimately scared for this channel. Both calmed me down a lot, and I want to take this part of the video to appreciate the support both Wacky TV and Brendan have given me. Brendan was open and honest with every question that I gave him, and he was so incredibly nice. He shared a completely different view to this entire situation than I had. While I wanted to put Brian down, actually saying this at one point, I know this sounds bad, but I want to at least humiliate him a little more since he tried to pull this stunt on me. Brendan, someone who's even closer to Brian than I'd ever be, had this to say. Nah, man, hope they become better people. Whatever happens to them will happen. It ain't my place to tell Karma how to do her job. Brandon Keating joined YouTube in 2009 as the troll YouTuber I Shat On You. He became pretty popular, hitting about 250,000 subscribers before quitting. He actually became friends with a lot of OG YouTubers, people like Ray William Johnson. He's pretty open about what he did, similar videos to Brian Martin, exploiting recent news stories and covering it on YouTube for money. Brendan quit in 2010 and started a company with his friends later, which apparently merged with company Maker Studios, which is now run by Disney under the name Disney Digital Network. Brendan's now being represented in court by a company called Fidelismus, so now it's David Tyler Moss and Fidelismus versus Brian and Holly. He believes, like me, that Brian runs the Wizard of Noz Twitter account, but also thinks that it's co-run by Kevin, Brian's twin brother. I emailed Wacky TV in a sort of desperation because he was the other person who went through a similar situation to me, although he went through much worse because he received death threats while I just received lawsuit threats. And those aren't even on the same spectrum of like email badness, so yeah. He also commented on my video saying that it was good, and honestly, that's just awesome for such a small creator like me to be getting comments like that from a multi-thousand subscriber channel. I did reply to it showing my appreciation a little later than I probably should have because I was dealing with, well, this whole situation, so sorry about that, Wacky. I emailed him and he replied back with this beautiful message. Should I do a British accent? I kind of want to do a British accent. I'm going to do a British accent. Hello, my friend. I can safely say you will be fine and nothing he says will happen. The worst that will happen is your video would get a privacy complaint, which has no damage to your channel, only the video. He did it twice to me. When I was 17, I had it all from him. Threats, the supposed doxing he did on me, saying my whole family is going to die. That, for me personally, lasted since I made the first video. He still occasionally messages me, but I ignore it. If I was going to get sued, he would have done it back in 2021. The truth is, I know a lot about him behind the scenes. You aren't the first person to reach out after my video. I've had someone else who made a video on him be harassed. If you have anything else you want to talk about, my Discord is, and then he sends his Discord, I'm not going to say that. I'd be happy to talk with you in the VC, but listen to me when I say this. I can promise you that you are in no danger and have nothing to fear. Believe me, I was scared at first. It gets boring after 2 years, lol. Hope you're doing well, my dude. Regards, Wacky TV, smiley face. Minor update. We talked on Discord for a bit, Wacky and I, and we were talking. I'm not going to give the context for this, but I say, oh, it's the least I could do for your support. And then he sends me this, like, Five Nights at Freddy's gif. Like, what does that even mean? How am I supposed to respond to that? What does it mean? I got an email back later that day from CraftTastic that said that they confirmed it was Brendan Keating who view-botted my channel. When I asked for the evidence, they said that they didn't have any because, of course, they didn't, since it was Brian, in my opinion. That's all there is so far. Brian's definitely going to keep emailing and messaging me at this point after seeing this video. But to be honest, I just don't really care now because now I realize that everything that I said about him in his video is true and he's just molding. So yeah, my final video of this year will be uploaded on Christmas, so get ready for that. Sorry about this very long update video. A lot has happened in the past couple days, but I'm fine. Everything's all good. Not makeup. Bro fists.